Hello there, avid listeners. Thanks again for tuning into Citizens Workshop. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, today we're going to be reviewing The Three Body Problem by Cixin Liu. This is one of those books that I was kind of intimidated by. Not so much because of the length. It's really not that long. But really, I guess I was intimidated the same way I was intimidated with Dune. You know, I was second-guessing my intellect of, like, am I going to understand this book when I read it? I'm very selective with science fiction, and there's a reason why. You know, I don't want things to just, like, kind of go over my head, because then I feel like I'm losing something of the story. I'm not enjoying it to its fullest. But with The Three Body Problem, this was such an amazing novel. It was so accessible, is the word. And it really does jump around a lot, but in a really fluid manner. Like, you're able to follow along with the story very, very easily. And for me, that was one of my biggest takeaways. You know, it starts, you know, at the beginning of the Cultural Revolution in China, and then, you know, you're entering modern day. So it spans, you know, a few decades. And then you're also getting this video game. I guess it's a virtual reality. You're immersing yourself in the virtual reality to solve the problem, you know, the three body problem. It's so accessible to me as a reader because, you know, I have my degrees in writing, literature, and publishing. So my understanding of science, despite, you know, growing up at MIT, I do have a fascination with science because it was my upbringing, but do I like talking about physics? Do I like doing physics? No. I like knowing of the subjects in a very loose way. And in this book, Cixin Liu does a lot of science, what I like to call anyway, science mumbo jumbo. It's a lot of things I have no knowledge about, but I'm able to follow along with the story. You know, I'm not lost, and it doesn't go over my head. I'm able to understand the science in the book, and that's because Cixin Liu makes it accessible to the reader. He doesn't dumb it down in any way, shape, or form, but he writes with a sense of clarity that you don't have to have a background in science or physics or nanotechnology or atmospheric planning or atmospheric sciences or planetary sciences. You don't have to have an understanding of that. Like, you don't have to have a PhD to get this book. And that's kind of where I was worried. Like, oh my God, am I gonna be able to understand the scope of the story? And I was, and it was really engaging, and it was a very fast paced, and I was drawn in from beginning to end. And again, I was not lost. It does go between different perspectives. There is a little subplot, you know, mystery in the story, but you're not taken away from the invasion, you know, aspect of the story. This is an invasion lit story. It does deal with alien races. Do you get to see the alien races? No, not really. There is 2 chapters, I think, that you get to see the alien races, but not in a way that they would interact with humans. Like, they're in their own galaxy, universe at this point. So there is no interaction, physical interaction, other than sending messages that take so long to get to one another. So it was just a really exciting novel for me to read. And I'm so glad that I just got over it and picked up the book and started reading it. And I did it the way I do with a lot of books that do tend to intimidate me. 30 pages a day is what I started with. And then after a point, I just started reading more and more because I was so engaged in the story. And I loved the pacing, and I love the way the story wraps up, and I'm excited for book 2. Like, I need to read books 2, and I need to read books 3, and it was absolutely phenomenal. That's the most I can say about this book. It's accessible. It's fluid. It moves effortlessly. And it's no wonder this is a Hugo award winner. I completely understand. And so if you want to go ahead and purchase the book, I will, of course, include links in the description below, or in the description of the podcast on where you can purchase it. And on that note, I hope you all continue to like this podcast, subscribe to it, and share with all your book loving friends. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.